Now joined by one of the GeneralSports.com athletes of the week, it's Marcella Mercer of the women's golf team. Marcella, strong week for you last week, an 8th place finish at the D3 Preview, including a 2-under round. In the final round, just take us through your performance last week.
Yeah, I was really happy with how last week went. Both, actually, the first two tournaments have gone quite well for me, so that's a nice way to start the season. I didn't play as well in the first round, but I knew, after playing the practice round and that first round, that the course was scoreable, and that if I just kind of kept focus and, didn't get too down on myself if I had a bad shot or a bad hole, that you could definitely score well out there, and so that worked for me on the second day.
As a team, a 4th place finish overall in a very loaded field. It's where the national championship is going to be. So to put up that performance against such a strong competition, how do you feel about your group?
Yeah, I think we were really proud of how our team played at that course. It's a tricky course, so if you are a little bit off, you can get in trouble quite quickly. But again, it's a course that we're just getting familiar with. That's why we have the preview there, to then be able to see how it plays for the national championship later on. As you said, it's a very competitive field. Almost all the teams that will be there at the national championship were there, so that was a really good gauge to see how our program's doing, and I'm proud of every single one of them on the team. That being said, there are improvements that can be made, and so I think that tournament was a good sense of where we are right now and where we can go, and it's really exciting to see that.
Back in action this week for the final time this fall. You get to play in the Golf Week Invitational down in Florida. What are you looking to take out of this weekend?
Yeah, this tournament's always really fun just because it is in Florida. It's on the beach. It's a pretty tricky course, so it's a good way to test out all the things you've been working on in practice so far this season. It's also just a nice way to end our fall season. Should be good. Hopefully the weather holds out for us, and I think we're all looking forward to it as getting that one final hoorah in before the end of the season.
And then having a few months, before you start the spring season again, come February, March, still going to be practicing over the winter. What is one of those things you want to work on in those few months without competition?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things for golf is, since we can't, it gets a little colder, you can't always go out and play 18 holes or things like that. So one of the most important things is just to make sure you're trying to get as many reps in as possible to stay kind of in the headspace for golf, because it's really easy to kind of get out of your tempo, get out of your mojo. So I think that's one thing that's most important for us, is just trying to get out there as much as possible, even if it's indoors here at our great facilities. So we're a great team dynamic. We love practicing with each other. So that's one of the nice things about having this off season, is we still go out there as a team, which is really great.
She's Marcella Mercer of the women's golf team and one of our GeneralSports.com athletes of the week. Marcella, thanks for joining us, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Now joined by one of the GeneralSports.com athletes of the week is Jalen Todd of the Washington Elite football team. Jalen, coming off a week where he had 6 tackles, a tackle and a half for loss, a sack, and a forced fumble in the win on Saturday against Guilford. Just take us through your performance on Saturday.
I know for the past couple of games, I've been playing to the best of my ability. I've been trying to be a vocal leader on the team, but I knew from last season, how I played last season, I haven't really been playing to my standard up to par. So I knew coming into the game that I wanted to not only be a vocal leader, but also be a leader on the field. So I really took it upon myself to do the best I could to really fulfill what I needed to do for the team.
48-25 win over Guilford, your 4th win in a row for you guys. What did you like most out of your whole team's performance on Saturday?
The thing I like the most about my team's performance is just how we're doing when we get under pressure. The past couple games, we've been really pressured, but being able to come together and not really have the coaches kind of tell us we're still in the game, but having a collective, every individual on the team, whether it's on defense or offense, going around the sideline just saying, we got this, we're gonna win. And having that camaraderie is something that's really important when it's coming down the long stretch of, our harder, I guess the rest of our games in ODAC, coming down to the end of the season.
Saturday's game, a lot more people there. Obviously, Parents and Family Weekend, Hall of Fame weekend this weekend as well. Kind of what was the atmosphere like for that game? There was a little bit more extra juice for a regular home game.
I know a lot of people, especially like the freshmen and the younger classmen. Their parents were here, so we didn't really try to play for people's families and friends, but it kind of comes with the territory. Especially seniors and everybody else just having their families there. It really meant a lot to see a lot of people really perform to the best of their ability, especially like Marcus Payne getting a touchdown for his family being here. His first couple touchdowns of his career, his family being able to see him score. O'Keefe McKinney getting a fumble recovery when I got my sack, and seeing his mom and dad in the sidelines really made me really happy. So they were able to see him do that in person.
And then lastly this week, Ferrum, the opponent. What's the key for the 5th win in a row?
Just stay consistent and follow the game plan. That's all I can really say.
He's Jalen Todd of the Washington Elite Football Team, one of our GeneralSports.com Athletes of the Week. Jalen, thanks for joining us, and best of luck this week.
Thank you.